Recording.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be hosting this call tonight, and it is such a privilege to have I've got to know these three women very well over the last few weeks. What they all have in common that I've noticed is they are all servant hearts, and you're going to hear that from their talks tonight. Our format for tonight is I've given these ladies 3 questions, and they have decided to answer the questions in like a rolling story. And the 3 questions are: why did you decide to join the Juice Plus business? What have been your challenges? What were the shifts that you have had to make these significant changes to your business over a short period of time? And I mean 2 to 3 to 6 months for these particular women. And because I have my antennas up all the time, and I'm listening to the leaders as to who is the movers and shakers, and as soon as they tell me who they are, I usually I can't help myself. I check the reports to see what their businesses are looking like, and that's where I have come across these 3 beautiful women that I'm going to share tonight. These women are going to come from vulnerability, their raw feelings and their truth, for they wish to add value to each and every one of you. If you wish to ask a question, please put it in the chat box, and if time permits, Tamara will pick a few of the questions and present them to the girls. So thank you, Tamara. So we're going to start with Natasha Reid. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of a profile on each of these girls. Natasha started this business on the 8th of December 2014. She is an independent mum to her beautiful son, Lennox. Her goal is, I've got to keep getting my breath, guys. Her goal is to create her own financial freedom and not be part of the government system. I have enjoyed watching this amazing young mum dig deep into her heart and her soul for strength over the last 6 months, and the transformation, Natasha, has been incredible. Tash is now having lots of fun building a global business. So, Natasha, please. Tamara, can you find Natasha?
Well, I've got it. I've sorted it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bronwyn, for that lovely welcome. I am so nervous, guys. This is a first for me, so I'm going to get a lot of breakthroughs from this call. So I just want to thank everyone for getting on the call. It's lovely to see so many beautiful faces, so really appreciate it. So I will get into it because we're on a time limit. So why Juice Plus? As Bronwyn said, I am a single mum, and I really, like, when I said yes, I was actually heading back into university. So I said yes on the 8th of December, and then I started summer camp, like summer uni, which was pretty intense. And I guess I saw this as a vehicle to pay my way through uni and not have to work weekends, because I'm actually a chef by trade. So, you know, not have to do the weekend work or night work and all that kind of stuff. But as some of you have probably been to uni here, I know one has, we've got a doctor on the line. She, you know, she'll obviously relate. As soon as I started going back into uni, Juice Plus became on the back burner completely. I reached DVF, and that was it. I did nothing with my business for the whole semester. I went completely into uni mode and getting distinctions and high distinctions, which is absolutely fantastic because it was what I was focusing on at the time. But then what ended up happening was I did my tax return. So I got my exams out of the way and I did my tax return in the June. And to be honest with you, I cried. I cried my eyes out. I earned just over $20,000. I have no idea how I managed to put food on the table and go to uni and work, you know, the bits and pieces that I did work. It was a very upsetting moment, but at the same time, it was a very empowering moment because from that moment, I made a choice. And the choice was that I could either continue complaining about my finances or I could actually give this business a strong yes. So from that moment, I called Angie Powell, my upline, and then also Valerie, and I said, look, this is it. I've decided to defer from uni and I'm going to give this business like my 100%. So that was one of my defined moments. Who would have thought you would have got so much from a tax return, right? But I did. and then from there, honestly, it's been one hell of a ride. So my other biggest challenges have been to like get myself out of my own way, you know, like really like learn how to get out of my head and get into my heart. And you know, that, to be honest with you, it's a daily struggle, really. Like I think we can all get into our head a little bit too much sometimes, but what I've noticed over the last 6 months is that I'm getting out of my head a lot quicker and I'm finding my heart a lot quicker. So the technique is like happening a lot faster now. I don't dwell in my pity party as much anymore, which is really good, right? So that's definitely been one of my challenges. But and trust, like not just trust in people, right? But trust in myself, like knowing that I can actually achieve anything that I personally want to achieve. And so I'm just going to put it onto speaker. Can you, oh, wait, sorry, I just changed it. You know, trusting in myself, knowing that, you know, like I didn't get invited into this business because my friend didn't think I wasn't good enough or anything, right? She invited me because she believed in me, knowing that I can personally become something bigger than what I even knew myself was capable of at the time, right? So I had to learn to trust myself by the trust that others had in me. So I really just used that as a source. Like they could see something in me that I just couldn't see at the time, and I just kept putting one foot after another, really. And now I can see it. Like I can see it now. It's like clear, which is fantastic. The other really thing was to not worry about what people think. Like that was like, I just had an amazing conversation with my mum on Friday, and you know, on the 19th of June, I might get a bit upset about this one, but on the 19th of June, which most of you would know, it's conference. But this year, like the 19th of June is the day my dad died, and my mum decided to put on a reunion, and so it's 35 years this year. And when she told me, my heart sunk because I was so looking forward to be on stage in Melbourne, like rocking it with my fellow team members, knowing my dad's, you know, right beside me, saying, my God, Natasha, like, you know, look how far you've come. So at first, I went and had a thought about it, and then I went to my mum and said, look, I've decided to go, like, to the reunion. And then, like, just on Friday, like, I realised that it wasn't really the choice that I wanted to make. Like, I knew deep down that and, you know, from the amazing coaching from Bronwyn and Valerie as well, they really got me connected to what my heart really wants. So I had a conversation with my mum, and, you know, I brought it up about conference, And then I actually said to her, Mum, one of the main concerns is what the family's going to think. And then she turned around and she said to me, and she goes, Natasha, this is a quote from your father. This is a quote from your dad. Oh my God. They are not wearing your moccasin shoes and they are not feeling your thorns. So you don't give a shit about what they think. They are not wearing your shoes. So, and, you know, as you can imagine, my mum and I are just bawling our eyes out because it was just such a defined moment where I realised that was holding me back in my business, worrying about what other people thought of me. You know, like if I chose conference over being with family, what would they think? But I think like what I really got out of that conversation was that they're really not wearing your shoes. Like they don't know what it's like over here, living with just like Lennox and I, being on benefits. They've got no idea what I deal with day to day. So I guess really like what that really leaves is we all have a choice, you know, like we all have a choice, and the choice is we can either continue to listen to our head, because it's only our head that like goes into what other people think of us. We can either continue to like listen to our head and let other people's thoughts, that they're probably not even thinking that anyway, right? Because they're too busy thinking about what everybody else is thinking about them. So or we can just really make that switch and go into our hearts. And I think that's where the miracle happens, you know. So I guess that was all the switch, and everything was all in one there. I hope that was okay. But I guess like something else I got really clear on the other day too is that you got to be your own hero. Like, I mean, there's so many heroes on this call. I can say, you know, there's so many amazing heroes on this call, but they're their own right heroes. They're their own heroes by right, and we all have that in us, each and every single one of us. So yeah, be your own hero. I think that's it, really.
Thank you, Natasha. That was absolutely beautiful. I really treasure your honesty. Thank you. Next, we have Rachel. Okay, Rachel. We'll bring Rachel up. And as we're bringing Rachel, I'm going to just read a bit of a profile on Rachel. Rachel started her business on the 6th of March 2013. Rachel is a wife to Adam, who is a FIFO, 1 week on, 1 week off. She has 4-year-old twin boys, and they are very special little people. I must add, they were only 18 months old when Rachel started her business. Wow, that in itself needs to be put up in lights. And, you know, you have my attention, Rachel. Back in January, Hilary Manners, leader of Team Angels, implemented a reward program for her team. And I must say her generous offer was, if you achieve the challenge each month, it would be in the form of money in your bank account towards your costs to get to conference. Rachel has achieved the set tasks every month and is reaping the rewards in her bank account. Can't wait to hear your nuggets, Rachel, because you are an absolute team player, and you certainly have a heart, a servant heart. So over to you, my darling.
Thank you so much, Bron. Thanks, Tash. That was awesome. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, but I hope to soon. So why did I decide to join Juice Plus? Well, basically it was because I was on maternity leave. I had 2 years unpaid maternity leave. As I said, my husband was FIFO, and we'd lost $1,000 a week pretty much. So things were getting a bit tight, and we'd moved into a new house as well. So we had a mortgage. So I was sort of trolling around the internet and looking at different ways to earn some money, basically what I could do from home, because to us, putting our kids in childcare wasn't an option. I wanted to stay home at least till they were 2, which my husband agreed on as well. So at that time, it was 18 months. So I sort of looked at a few different things. I looked at a few different companies. I didn't want to have to buy a kit. I didn't want to have to meet targets or have pressure from anyone. I looked at doing online surveys and all this type of stuff, and nothing really sat with me. So I spoke to my upline. I'd been taking the product for about 6 months and was getting loads of benefits from it. During that time, my husband also started taking the product. So that, again, was another reason why I decided to join the business, because we were both on it. And so to get it cheaper, I decided to join up as a franchisee. So to start off, it basically was just to get our products cheaper for our family. And I had a few in-homes at my house and told friends and family about it, and got a lot of customers, which was awesome. And then it sort of turned around, and I knew that I could make a business out of it. And from that point, I don't know what it was in me, but I always knew that I'd make it to the top. I will be a national marketing director, and I said it way back then, and I still know I'll get there. So it's been a little while, but, you know, I've been able to reskill myself during this time, which Juice Plus allowed me to do. And so we are getting there, and it's awesome. But, yeah, basically it was just because of the money. You know, trying to buy nappies and formula for these little boys was a huge cost for us. So slowly built my business up, and I've got a really good customer base at the moment, and the team's just starting to thrive now, which is great. And the startup fee was low. That was another thing for me. So if it didn't work out for me, if it wasn't my thing, I wasn't too concerned. Challenges for me, there's been loads. I've got a whole big list of challenges. There's no particular order, but you know, running out of my warm market was a big one, because then I sort of thought, oh, hang on, I can't do this. I used to be in sales, and I had to do cold calling all the time, and I hated that, and I didn't want to have to do that again. So I had a little freak out at that point. I thought, oh, hang on, how am I going to do this? Where do I go from here? How can I move forward? So overcome that hurdle, and basically to get where I am now, I've basically been engaging in all the events that I can, any Zooms that I can, webinars, team trainings, whether it be face-to-face or over Zoom. I try and lock arms with those, you know, my uplines, everyone that sort of helps out, even people sidelines. I've locked arms with sidelines, and we've made things happen, which has been great. So, yeah, running out of the warm market, that was a big one, but I got over that one. Finding a balance between my Juice Plus business, also my studies, being a wife and a mother, that was really hard at one point as well. And I think that for me, it's always going to be a bit of a juggling act, and probably for everyone. So it's one of those things where it just sort of all falls into place. You know, you go through your little patches and it all hits the fan, and then you sort of come back down, take a step back and have a look and get real about it again. Say, okay, well, why am I doing this? And so when I reassess all that, I can move forward again. A hard thing for me as well was not having support from my closest, my mum and dad and my friends. I still sort of, that's still the case. So nearly three years later, parents not interested in the product, not interested in network marketing, which is fine. Like, I'm over that now, but it was quite hard at the time. And same for my friends. It's taken not a lot of work, but you sort of want them to get it because you get it, and you want them to have the same benefits that you do. And, you know, some people have a block, and that's fine. So I'm learning as well over the years just to let it slide and move forward and speak to people that want it. The other thing I think was a challenge was not, you know, when you first start this business, you don't know anything, and that's like everyone. So I found it really difficult because I thought, I know nothing about this product or the business. And in fact, there's still a lot of things I don't know about the compensation plan today. So I'm still learning, and that's the other thing I love about this business. It's continual growth. So I'm always learning, always growing, and there's always someone to help me if I get stuck. So recently, like Bronwyn said, you know, I've had a shift, and I had to talk it through with Bron because I myself didn't even know what that was. Nothing had changed really, like, you know, there was nothing that sort of put a rocket up me, but the only thing that was having targets set for me with a reward at the end, and a sense of achievement. So what I sort of came to realise was that I'm task orientated. So day to day in my diary, I've got a to-do list and it's got 1,000,001 things in it, but if I tick them off, then I feel like I'm winning. If I tick one thing off, I go, yes. Tick another one off, even better. If I can go through that list, tick it all off, and then at the end of the day, my reward is I can sit down without any guilt, feeling good that I've achieved things. That's exactly what's happened in this business. So each month, tasks have been assigned, and there's a reward at the end, and I don't even know how I've done it, but I've just gone, yep, I can do this. I'm going to take on the challenges, and the rewards are coming in. It's awesome, and I'm loving it. So that was one thing. I think it was a shift in my mindset as well. I think this year I joined the 5 a.m. club. So I started off getting up at 5 o'clock Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And I would try and get up before the twins, but they have a habit of getting up at 5 o'clock these days. So I think we have to move it forward to 4 a.m. Probably not going to happen. But I get up and I read some books. You know, I've got a few personal development books on the go. So like I said, I love to continually grow and learn. I am big on affirmations, which to talk to me about affirmations last year, I would have said, what a crock. I don't know what happened, but this year I've got about 10 different ones that I say every day. So I'll say them, you know, when I'm getting up at 5 a.m, I'll go over those. Whenever the clock says 11:11, 11:11, make a wish. I see that all the time, so I say my affirmations. No matter red light, out they come again. So I have these certain points in my day where I keep saying them, and I think, honest to God, it has helped me hugely. So it's pretty cool to see all that happening as well. And I am statements as well go along with the affirmations. And that's pretty much it, I think, from me.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Rachel. Thank you. Okay, now we have Sally. So while Sally's coming on, I'm just going to read her profile. Sally started her business on the 15th of May 2014. Sally is wife to Andrew, and she's a mum of 5 adult children. She also has 2 grandchildren who she enjoys being part of their lives. Sally has been blessed with one of the girls joining her in this business. I have been watching Sally explode her business over the last 3 months, and what I am seeing is total duplication in her team by showing them first build a customer base, show them residual income monthly, and last month Sally grew her business 25%. She had a 25% increase in growth, which is huge in 30 days. Can I tell you, coming from sales and coming from figures, that is huge. And, you know, it's significant. So I can't wait for Sally to share with you all what her shift has been over the last 3 months. So welcome, Sally.
Thank you so much, and thanks guys for all being on the call. The reason why I started Juice Plus was the actual product. That's the reason why I joined the business, and that was my wife, that part. So what ended up happening, I started the business, I started using Juice Plus, and I ended up getting heaps of benefits. The first 30 days, I was so excited because Caitlin rang me and said to me, oh, you made $300. And I didn't understand the business in the beginning. I didn't think nothing of it. I just started the business because I wanted to pay my own product. So getting that $300, I actually got excited and I thought, wow, this is awesome. So Caitlin went on holidays and it came to qualifying, and I still didn't know much about the business. And then I'd have other uplines ringing me and, you know, boosting me up and saying,
Sal,
you're nearly there, you've got 1 week, you're going to, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now. Can you just repeat the last minute?
We're $300. Where was it from? $300. Anyway, I'll start from $300. So I got my $300. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Keep going.
Oh, okay, sorry. And then it got to the $400 qualifying, and I thought, oh my God, I can't believe it, I made that extra money. So anyway, what ended up happening after that $400, I just lost it. I didn't do anything. I just sort of plodded along because I was working at the hospital at that time, and I was working full time, and I was looking for something that I could actually stay home and be there for my kids and my grandkids. So I did real estate. I did a course. I paid so much money to do the course because I was looking for something that I could, yeah. And so anyway, sorry. So anyway, once I end up thinking what I needed to do, I sat down and I thought to myself, oh my God, you know, I'm not really making enough money. So it was either sit down and cry or get up and do something about it. So I decided to do something about it. So I struggled at first, and it got to, I passed my SC, so I did slow track. Caitlin came and spoke to me in November. It was just before Christmas, and she said to me, we need to restart you. And I was really upset because I didn't get my $600. And then she said, don't worry, you know, we'll restart you. And she was thinking of doing it this year in January. So I looked at her and I said, yeah, let's do it now. And she said to me, but it's this, I found my why. I really wanted to be home and work around my kids and my grandkids. I never had that opportunity to be there for my children. So I wanted to be there for them as adults, and them and me to be there for my grandkids. So December came, January, I end up getting SC within that 1 month. So Caitlin was shocked, and everyone else, which was really great. We just had so much fun celebrating. And then the following month, I hit SC, so that was another bonus. And I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to make sure that all my teamies, whoever jumps on board, I'm going to help them. Because this business is just so easy. It's just making sure that we duplicate it from word go. As soon as we get taught something, we let our teamies know. I really love the tracking sheet. Every time I get a teamie, I always put the date of when they started, and you write down the date of their first promotion, which is their $100. So you make sure once you've given that to the person, you book them in for an event straight away in that 10 days. So they get all excited as well as you do, and plan an event, invite people. Then you ask them how many people do they know, how many people would benefit with their health. And so we do a raw dessert and smoothie because that's what I love doing. So we do that, and then within that 10 days, well, within that 2 days of them having that event or a week, they end up getting their first bonus of $100. So their business would only cost them $137.50, which is fantastic. It's really important for them to actually get the $300. So you're working, what it is, it's working really close with your teamie and your customers. It's so important for them to understand even this, the complete. Because if you have customers and you sell them the complete and they don't know what to do with it, they'll have it in the cupboard and not do anything. And then you've lost that customer buying the complete. So then you've got the fast track freedom, the blue sheet, and then they've got their structure. So you just teach them both piece of paper. I give them both so that they know and they can see and they know the date that they've got to get it into. So that was my shift. My shift was just being there for my teamies, doing heaps more events, being on Zoom calls, encourage my teamies to get on the Zoom calls as well, because we're learning every day. And the more we jump on Zoom and the more we do events and go to events, that's how our business will grow. And that's what I've changed. Thank you.
Thank you, girls. I really appreciate all your nuggets. And Tamara, have we got a few minutes that we could take a couple of questions?
Yep, absolutely. I think if anyone has any questions for anyone in particular, feel free to put them in the chat box. I know I had one. I actually have a couple. My first question is actually to Natasha. So, Tash, if you could just unmute yourself, love. I'm just going to see if I can find you. Gallery view. Oh, there's so many people on this call. It's great. There you are. Yeah, what three things, obviously, Tash, you're working around your son. What three things do you do consistently every single day to help you move your business forward? So what's your daily method of operation?
Yeah, so I guess this was part of my shift as well. Like I incorporated I am statements. So every morning, I get up and I go to the mirror and I straight away, the first thing I do is I am statements. And then generally, like I'm not a 5 a.m. person. I'm not part of the 5 a.m. club, and I probably will never be. So from 7 o'clock, when both Lennox and I get up, we actually both do I am statements in the mirror. So I have my son yelling out, "I am awesome," in the mirror also, which is really cute. And then we get breakfast ready and it's all school. And then once he goes to school, I then I pick the hardest thing first, the thing that I don't want to do the most. And I got this from Danny Martin. So pick the hardest thing first, whether or not it's that phone call that you've been putting off or a message from someone, but the hardest thing first. Once you've done the hardest thing, everything else is easy and it's fun. So that's really what I do. Like the I am statements, the hardest thing first, and then the five messages, and then the 5 follow-ups. That's what I do.
Good job.
And then I like to try and get out, but sometimes I get stuck in at home. But I find I'm more human when I get out and about.
Yeah. And Rach, question for you. I know everyone's got this one in their head. How have you reached out into your cold market now that you've exhausted your warm market? Because that's often things that people struggle with.
Well, I sort of got over myself, and I think in the beginning it was me putting pressure on myself to sell and to recruit, because to me that was business. And then slowly, by attending events and speaking to everyone, and I realised that it's basically just sharing. So, I was in the supermarket and there was a lady and she was looking at kids' vitamins covered in sugar, and I said to her, "Hey, my kids on these fruit and veg choose. They're awesome. If you want some more information, give me an email and I'll send you some info. And she did. And she became a customer and I bought her house. But it just became about listening to people, I suppose, and seeing what I can get from that to therefore share the product or the business, depending on what they were saying.
Awesome. Thank you. And Sal,
Yeah.
I think you just gave a magnificent presentation. So thank you so much for that. I think you've highlighted one thing, and that is use the tools that are there and don't try and reinvent the wheel, right? How have you found it, given your upline is kind of like your daughter?
Right.
How do you... Yeah. How do you... I think one of the things that I like about you, Sal, is that you're teachable. How do you then sort of impart those sort of messages of being teachable to your team?
Oh, Caitlin was amazing, and she is like a daughter to me, and always will be. I love her to bits. She had the patience. I don't know how she had the patience. Obviously, she kept on saying that she hasn't got patience with her mum, but she had patience with me. So that was amazing. Yeah, I just felt bad at first, but if I didn't ask and if she just didn't keep on being by my side, I wouldn't be here where I am today. And if it wasn't for her asking me, and she didn't ask me for the actual business, the reason why she came for me, because she knew that I had health issues. And that turned into leader, and I love learning from her.
Yeah, beautiful. I think that's going to be the secret to your success, Sal, is that you're so totally teachable and you're just willing to learn and do. So that's awesome. Well, guys, I want to thank every single one of you for being on the call tonight. I'm flicking through. I can't actually see any blokes, so well done, girl power, for being on the call tonight. Thank you to some amazing women for sharing your stories. I've been totally inspired myself. I want to remind everybody that the magic happens in that extra 5%. That's my latest mantra. So don't forget that, you just got to go that little 5% extra, and that's where the magic happens. And that's what every single one of these ladies have shown us tonight is going that extra 5%. So congratulations, everyone, for being on the call tonight. I hope you've taken away some gems. I can't see any other questions that are on the chat room, so we might wrap it up and say thank you so much, Tash. Thank you, Rach. Thank you, Sal, for some beautiful gems. And I hope everyone has a really fantastic week. See you later. God bless.